I was just fearful of my Spanish because it was after a long time that I had did not I hadn't spoken in Spanish, and like when I just started with it, it started coming in.
Hi Harshit, and welcome to my podcast, The Language Experience. How are
Hi,
you?
hi, Lakshya. Thanks for inviting me in.
No problem, no problem. So my first question to you is, how was Harshit as a student in school and then in college?
Okay. I really loved academics. I'm a reader, an extensive reader. I love books. I cannot resist books. I still have the weakness of going to a bookshop and not coming out of empty hands. So it is still with me. So earlier in my childhood days, I have been very much through reading, writing, literature, and I was a science student. I had the PCM with computer science in my class 12, as I always wanted to go to defense forces and all. So I took that. But deep inside my heart, I always revered literature, writing, authors, books. And one of the things which I would say, and every one of what we should share, we share is the knack of learning languages, and that's how we ended up in GRS. Something that inspired us, something that just give us a kick to learn a language. So maybe in class 11th or 12th, I came across Spanish, as I used to. I'm very much into a movie buff. I came across a movie channel that was started during my school days that was called World Movies, and it showcased movies all across the world. And it was 24/7 channel, so I really liked to see movies. And that was the first interface that I came across with it. Movies were in different languages and not dubbed; it was subtitled. And really, it was a week that it had a week of movie screening of some particular country. So like it started me. I particularly started with Spanish. Like I had had a week of Spanish movie screening, and from like morning till evening after my school, like whenever I had the time. So I was like cocoon in my room and just watching these movies. So that was the first instance where I had I would say with a one of the European languages, that is Spanish, French, and the culture I came across. But yes, in my school days, I came across Urdu, Punjabi as a third language, which I revere till now. Punjabi, I was born and brought up in Chandigarh, and I studied Punjabi just for a year. But yes, I I liked it. I also we culturally we are born and brought up in a Punjabi environment. So my mom, she used to be a school teacher. So even she had like done her the mandatory Punjabi examination for the teaching. And Urdu, my cousins were settled in Aligarh, so they had this third language. They had to study in the they were in the Aligarh Muslim University and school. So whenever I used to go to them, they had a lot of Urdu books. So that's why how I came across with Urdu. And culturally saying, Urdu and Punjabi are very interlinked. So that was one thing that I taught myself in school. Spanish came started to come easy with movies and songs in my grade 11 and grade 12. And then post that, when I didn't find any particular reason to join any other, I would say, occupation or services. Thus, I tried to go with my gut feeling of learning a language, making a career in it, and that's how I came in love. Like that's my love for language, and particularly for Spanish started because everyone was doing French or German. Spanish, as you know, as we know, was not particularly so-called the famous foreign language that was to be learned by the third world countries. It was always French or German, French, German, or maybe some other European language. But this was Spanish for me.
Perfect, perfect. Because my reason to learn Spanish was football. I was a very big Barcelona fan, and then the
Mhm.
other athletes from Spain, like Rafa Nadal and Fernando Alonso in F1,
Yes.
everybody was popping onto the scene. And when I was about to graduate,
Hmm.
the movie came out, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and then
Yes,
everything
I.
everything got together, and that's how I learned Spanish. But then your reason was movies, right? It was one specific movie, or you just do not realize that uh, one fine day you realize, okay, maybe I want to learn Spanish, or was it I don't want to learn those popular European languages, let me learn the not so popular. Now Spanish is very popular, but I think
Yes.
back in the day when you were learning, was it
Yeah, when back in the day, people used to call it Hispanic studies. So there was not even a proper nomenclature for the Spanish language and literature, and people got confused. Like, are we studying Spanish, Hispanic? What is this language? Like in the GRS department, used to be referred. I don't know if it's still being referred as Hispanic studies.
in masters it is Hispanic, but in your graduation B honors it is Spanish.
Okay, okay. So like when
You
I
can
went
tell
to the
people
first,
what is Hispanic. I know, but others don't know. But because for
yeah,
people,
Hispanic is
Spanish
all.
is just Spain.
Yeah, like it's francophony for all the French culture and literature and language. So like Hispanic is being all about around Spanish language, literature, and culture. So I think this is one of the things that Hispanic can be explained in the most simple terms. Movies, yes, it was more of movies, songs. I used to listen to a lot of Enrique Iglesias at that point of time. He was very famous from 2000 to 2009, and I came across his Spanish albums. Particularly, there were movies which were screened on that channel. So there was like a Cuban movie which I faintly remember that was called Viva Cuba. Then there was I think a movie from Peru, and some two three movies from Spain. And then I went to Delhi Book Fair, so I came across a very, very good self-learning Spanish book, which I bought at that point of time in 11th. So whenever I used to get time, apart from my board exams, I used to just gloss it through, leaf through the pages, do one or two chapters, and it started coming easy because I had an experience of learning German and French as well. I tried because in the my previous school there were people who had German, who had French, so I just like took they lent me some books and I tried, but it didn't come easy. It was difficult. But Spanish, it started coming because you just do two, three chapters, you just listen to some songs or you just watch some movie, you can pick up some words, and then you say, oh, it's coming easy. Like I'm learning a language, and yes, I know it. And that point of time, it was very crude, very nascent stage when I did not know the formalities of the grammar. It was just for fun. So I think the
This is in
the
school,
the
right? This is when
yeah,
you.
this is totally in school. So I think people who have the knack of learning languages do not do for the purpose of making a career, making a life for it. They just do it for fun. So I think it started all with fun and still continues to be fun.
Perfect, perfect. Now I want to know. Okay, schools are done. You are graduated. Like 12th standard is done. How
Sure.
did GRS come into the picture? How did you
Oh,
know about
that's
GRS? Or, because my cousin was there. She's still 1 year elder to me, and she was already there. So I knew, okay, there's one place where I can learn Spanish like as a full
okay.
time thing. Not I can. I still went to Cervantes, but how did you find about GRS department?
Okay, so that's an interesting story that everybody knows the JNU was the hub of the learning languages,
Yeah,
School of Language.
definitely. Everybody wanted
Yes,
to
so
go to
everybody
JNU.
wanted to go and uh, this was the point after the 12th board exams when my result came. So I really was fixed where to go, what to have a career in my life because I did not go for a traditional IT engineer. I had decided for myself that I did not want to go for traditional occupations and services. So I said, what should I do? So there was one of my neighbors. She was eldest batchmate of my school. She was doing French from JNU, and she guided like you can go for the Spanish studies in JNU. Though I appeared, I did not make it, and somebody else told me that you can go to GRS department as well in their university, and it is still as equal as going to JNU. So accidentally or maybe purposefully, I just and at that point in time, you also had like being at Delhi, around from Delhi and NCR region when the admissions for the due start flashing in. So there are a lot of hullabaloo in the papers, like for the life of DU. So really, it attracted me. So I went for the GRS, and luckily I made it through and started at because the first day when I stepped in GRS department for the admission form, I said to myself, yes, this is the one college I want to be here. It's so peaceful. It's so small. It's not so traditional. Do you? Uh, I would say famous or with activity, a lot of activity. It was quaint, peaceful, quiet, and that's how GRS came to be.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So a neighbor telling you about that place, but you never tried
Sure.
for JNU, or
I
you
did
didn't
try for
have?
JNU.
Oh, you did.
I did try for JNU prior to GRS. I did try for JNU, but I couldn't make it. So I think that was luck. That was
Okay, yeah,
pure luck and good coordinates for my life,
yeah, yeah.
which
So,
turned to GRS.
how were your 3 years in GRS? Did you like
Oh,
it? You did
absolutely
not.
phenomenal.
You loved it.
Absolutely phenomenal. Because there I saw my passion being turned into a whole life, a lively environment. Because this is what I used to do sitting at my home, and there were people who were doing together in a whole, I would say, holistic environment. So I really loved the way they used to teach us. It was not traditional classes. It was very unconventional means, which they used to really focus on you expressing yourself, and being a science student. One can really relate that when you're fixated to things, datum, diagrams, calculations. So here's a platform which offers you to be you in a written form, in a verbal form, and also practice that thing uh, that makes your goal easy on your life, and not easy, I would say. You start pondering on yourself, like what you never came across. So this was something that language they used to show. The how the syllabus goes. They show movies. They hold a lot of activities, and it's just fun. It's fun being there. Then you also have a group of friends who start conversing, abusing in the language. So that's how you learn. That's how you start making fun of the language. That's how it picks you up. That's how it's on your tongue. And and one comes across the library which we have. I'm a bookworm, so I really had read almost like 60 to 70 books per person which were there, to English, Spanish. So that was fun. 3 years was totally fun.
Perfect. 3 years are over, graduation done, and then masters. You also did your
Masters,
masters from GRS.
yes, GRS.
How was the like doing your masters from GRS? How was that experience?
Masters was a bit, I would say, it pushed me. It pushed me because now the fun was still there, but it delved into another world where you need to be analytical. You need to be, I would say, a bit serious, I would say, on things, and you need to be. It taught me how to analyze things extensively. It taught me how to express yourself fully in the language that you have now learned. To it masters all application part of the graduation. So whatever you learned wrong or right, this was the thing that now you started applying uh, in your basically reading, writing, and then when you go for research, it opens up your mind. So masters was good, and I'm lucky that a lot of people do not go with masters because they have it enough. Because some of the people, they just land up learning a language. So and then they realize in the third year that they don't want to go further. But yes, I took it further and specialized. That's called the specialization of language is required when you're a language student. So
Yeah,
masters do it for you.
that was the majority of my class, where out of 40, I think 30 just ended up there in GRS but did not want to learn a language. Different reasons were कहीं admission नहीं मिल रहा था. We thought we'll learn the language and get a job easily, etc., etc. Were there any funny cases in your class where?
Yes, there were a lot of funny cases. They really did not. They ended up one of my best buddies. I would say whom I just spoke yesterday. He was my batchmate in the uh, the graduation class. So one of my another buddy, he was also there. He's working for BBC. The another was in his direction. So they ended up there. They still revere it. They still enjoy being there. But now they're on different modes and different lines of career. Uh, yes, because they realize language learning is fun. It's easy when it comes to the ABC and small words. But when it goes down deep and it opens a plethora of subjects, arenas where you then somebody who has been acquainted with that, somebody who has been reading, writing, or has been culturally influenced by the I would say the arts, then they people try to relate like this is not my cup of tea, or maybe this is my thing. So that's how people start to deviate from the advanced education and choose a different career path, mainly because India is a competitive country. Like you need to earn money, survive. So maybe the more early you do, the more the better. But people like us still have a chance, still give it a shot. That okay, maybe 2 more years and then I can earn money, and then but need to do something, some level, some specialization of the language.
Yeah, makes sense. Like if you love the language, it's good to do masters. I did
It's
not do
good
it.
to do.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
did not do it because I wanted to take the job, make money as soon as possible route.
Yeah, that's simple reason.
But but
We
I
are a,
was studying at Cervantes, so I did go to Cervantes after that. Yeah,
that's by any means if you are connected to language, even if you're connected to language, like if you're not even learning, but just being part of it, like somebody who maybe in marketing, maybe some of my friends who have just lost their touch with Spanish. But there are some people who still watch, still read, still go through some newspapers of Spanish. Like they test themselves every day. So maybe I'm not in GRS anymore. Maybe I'm not in the Delhi University anymore. But do I still know the language which I studied for 3 years?
yeah.
So that's how you stay connected to a language.
True. Now, I want to know any connections with Cervantes. You have felt like going there? Do you want to get a delay or anything like that? Or Cervantes was never in the picture? Because
Oh,
if
I
you
had
remember,
yeah.
there was this teacher. She took us to Cervantes. Before that, I had no idea of Cervantes.
I had an idea of Cervantes. We used to go for free wines on the Spanish language culture and day. I really love the aura and ambience. The Cervantes, I really because I always had heard of Goethe and Olios Francais. So I really loved that. Oh, Cervantes is also there. That is promoting Spanish language and culture in the country. My experience of Cervantes is like I used to go for the film festivals that I came to know about. Me and my the classmate I have who is in direction. We were fond of movies, so we used to go for the movies, the cultural programs, and maybe after when the Spain won the World Cup, we had 1 or 2 trips. Delhi, yes, I wanted to go for Delhi, but not while being in masters because I always thought that you should not step in two places at the same point of time. So, like, it's like uh, maybe concentrate or finish one thing first. And yes, I wanted to go for Delhi post my masters, but I couldn't. I also had some circumstances that I couldn't, and then yes, but I still think for going for Delhi just for testing myself. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I think everybody should give Delhi, like who has done or who's still studying Spanish. Now you just mentioned that you went to Spain. How many times, when, and how was the experience and where? Because this is
Uh,
something I want to know. Something that I have also done. I still love doing. I still love going to Spain. I want to know your
okay.
experience.
My present wife, she resides in Germany, Akriti. So I went to meet her, and then this was the first time we planned a small trip to Spain. That was to Madrid. We wanted to. She had been to Barcelona earlier, so we wanted to go to a new place, and thus everybody knows about south of Spain, but the time and the economical restrictions were such that we could just only go to Madrid for a day or two. But yes, I really loved it because it is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen, and with lively people. So the first day, I was just fearful of my Spanish because it was after a long time that I had did not I hadn't spoken in Spanish, and like when I just started with it, when it started coming in, and we I enjoyed what I had always learned about the tapas, the flamenco. I we went to a flamenco dance watching program was there. I went to the central square of Madrid, the Mercado de San Mercal, and enjoyed the jamon, vino, and I would say that paella. Malab, that was the thing that really I was living what I always learned for 5 years. So that was very remember. I remember that. So
I understand this feeling, like learning a language for so many years, learning about the culture, about the food, about all the music and the dance, and suddenly you're
yes,
there and you're
it
experiencing
comes.
it.
Yes, it's like coming in real life. That's how it is. So you
I
really
have a
get
similar experience of Madrid where going to the Mercado San Miguel, going to Plaza Mayor, trying the ham, trying churros,
churros. Yes, yes.
everything that I've learned or read or seen on the internet so far, I'll be experiencing it, and you cannot match that happiness
You cannot,
for the
because
first
you
time.
really that is the ultimate aim, even
Yeah,
if it's for a day.
yeah, even
That
if
is the
it's for a
ultimate.
day or month or whatever, learn Spanish and then go there, talk to people. My thing was go to a stadium, watch football match. It was
Oh,
I can understand the feeling. So
yeah.
now you're done your masters, everything is done. You never thought of joining an MNC, because a lot of people after they do your graduation or maybe after masters they join uh, a MNC in Delhi, in Gurgaon or in Bangalore, or if they don't want to work in a MNC,
No,
they.
I did try. I was selected, but yes, life had some simple turns, and like
Hmm.
some of the offer came in, and then I really did not go further and went for a good public sector job. So that is something. The reasons are personal, but yes, I still I am connected to the world of language, literature, movies. So it doesn't has to be that you go and make a career in the language, or it would suffice. It would really help. Yes, but that is something that will always be with you. If you want to take it further, it can be as a career or it can be as a passion.
True,
So
true, true, true. Exactly. Like after a while, a lot of people do leave languages, but they still continue using it or
yeah, you do
watching.
not leave the language. You basically leave the option of making a career into that language.
True, true.
But
Very.
the language never leaves you. It's
Yeah.
like learning to ride a bicycle. It's like learning to swim. It never goes out of your subconscious mind. It never. It will never go out of it.
True, true, true. And
People tend to think that they have forgotten language. No, it is still stored. It is still stored in the back of your memory. You just need to
brush it
dust a
up a
bit,
bit.
and
Brush it up a bit,
yeah,
and then it
yeah,
comes back.
it is always there.
I agree, agree. Never thought of teaching the language, maybe become a professor or part time teaching
Um,
somewhere.
now now I think that I should have done that because I find it easier. Not easier, I would say. I would still connected, but no, I did not want to go into academic profession and be a teacher. That was not uh, my thought process ever. So, but if given a chance, maybe at certain point of life and time, you grow up. You realize that that was a good option as well. I did not choose that, or choices that you make. Maybe that's how you grow up. So maybe now, if somebody says, maybe I can give it a try. But yes, people who are doing it as very laborious, very, I would say, progressive about, and they're holding the pillars of language learning in India, which is a very tough thing to do. It's a very tough thing to do in India because it is the languages has just boomed up. It is one of the, I would say, academics as well as professionals, which is just newly introduced to India. Other than the IIT, engineering, being a doctor, it's still booming up, and people who are doing that, hats off to them. But
Perfect.
yes, maybe. that was not at that point of time in my life. I did not think of that.
Perfect. So if given an opportunity, a part-time teaching, Harshit can
Yeah, maybe
def.
if I retire, maybe on evening classes I can still, so that I stay connected.
Perfect.
Because I think being in such a big country, it is relevant, as it is a blunt fact that you need to be, I would say, economically independent. And once you have done that, when once you have been sufficiently providing yourself, then you can think of other things. So it's okay.
Perfect. Now, Harshit, I want to know how many languages do you speak? Okay, obviously Hindi, and then obviously English, and then we have
Obviously, English.
already established that you speak Spanish. What are the other
Yes.
languages? Where did you learn? Why did you learn? Reason? Whatever. Tell me everything about it.
Okay. So the first three languages, that those are English, Hindi. I would say four: Punjabi and Urdu. So Punjabi and Urdu. I was born and brought up in an environment where the Punjabi and Urdu cultures were very uh, prevalent. We used to watch a lot of, but while being in Chandigarh, I used to watch a lot of. We were like totally in a Punjabi environment, so we studied Punjabi, and we had TV serials and the programs in Punjabi. The radio was in Punjabi. I'm talking about 90s. That is 95, 6, 7, and 8, I would say, and further onwards. So it was, and we used to speak. We used to speak. Now we're now shifted to Delhi, so we seldom speak. But Punjabi, that is one of the things which I'm fluent about. I read a lot in Punjabi, and that is authentic Punjabi with the Gurmukhi, not transliterated one. I'm also, because of Urdu, I can read the Punjabi of Pakistan. That's called Shahmukhi. So I read literature in that also. Sorry, you're not audible.
Yeah, I was saying, what is Gurmukhi and Sukhmukhi, you said?
Shahmukhi.
Shamukhi, yeah. So tell me about it
Yeah.
because
So, as you know, with the undivided India, the Punjab was one. It comprised of a whole the five river state, and with the division of India, uh, not I would say not division of India, but earlier the script for the Punjabi, the earlier script was both Gurmukhi and Shamukhi. So the Shamukhi is when it is written in Perso-Arabic script. The Punjabi, simple Punjabi, written in Perso-Arabic script, which is still prevalent in Pakistan, is called Shahmukhi, and the Gurmukhi, where we have, is in the prevalent in the Indian part of Punjab. So both the literature strive in two different scripts. So there are a lot of literature which are transliterated, that is from Shahamukhi to Gurmukhi. It is just a barrier of reading the scripts. A lot of people are now trying to learn each other's script just to have an interaction with the other literature. So that was Punjabi. Urdu came, I would say, Urdu is one of the most beautiful languages that I've ever learned, and we often say Urdu as we treat it as like a step motherly treatment, but the thing is, we all speak Urdu.
yeah,
We seldom
definitely
speak
in
Hindi.
Delhi, in Delhi, there's a bunch of words that we use is
It's
from what.
not bunch of words. It's like bunch of words we say in Hindi, I would say, but all the time we are speaking Hindustani or Urdu. So my dad used to listen to ghazals of Ziggy Singh every evening. It came like it started pouring in my ears in a very nascent stage. Me and my mother, we are fond of the old television serials of Doordarshan, which were very intrinsically dependent on the literature, Urdu literature. So we had like telefilms, movies, parallel cinema, which came handy. And then there was some exposure of my cousins learning Urdu. I took some books from them, self-taught myself. Then I really started reading into Urdu, and also Urdu is something which is not very far from you. It just you just have to do a little bit push yourself to just learn the script, and there's a whole plethora of things that will open to you. We cherish it. Why not? Like you listen to all these songs in Bollywood, they're all Urdu. You always are humming these songs. So Urdu is all around you, but you negate the fact that it is not. This is not Urdu. We always say, yeah, I don't know Urdu. Every Indian, North Indian, I would say, at least know 70% of Urdu. It is just the 30% of the very literary Urdu. One might not know. But then I used to regularly, frequently visit the Delhi Book Fair, where there were stalls. The old Delhi is very full of this Urdu bazaar. A lot of, I would say, uh, opportunity where you can interact. Then I met a person who taught me Persian as well, who was from Old Delhi. He was my senior, but he was doing his masters in Persian. So that's how the next level of Urdu and Persian came into me. And I was very fond of poetry, short stories, and the I would say the Urdu culture that thrives in the North India. So that's how Urdu came. Apart from that, when I was learning Spanish, I had my evenings free, so I decided to learn German, and I put my hands in German. I did my advanced diploma from the evening classes, that is the part-time advanced diploma from Delhi University itself. So and that came handy. Now that's how I met my wife. And so German, as because of the I used to read a lot of World War literature, so maybe that's how I and see a lot of World War movies as well. So that came a bit, I would say, a push forward, push inspirational thing. And then I would say after that, I did a bit 1 year of Russian as well in the Finno-Ugric department. I
Okay.
was that's for the same reason that I used to read a World War literature a lot.
Okay, so
So
if you read about World War, you always obviously want to learn about Russia and Russian.
Russia and that's how things. And there is no language I do not want to learn. I would say like I would be plain and simple. Like I wanted to learn every language in the world, so I collected books for every language. So in my computer, I had like 30, 40 books of languages. You cannot possibly do, but you really want to know every culture. So this is how whatever uh, whatever I could learn in the paucity of time I could. So now being in government job, I completed my diploma in Urdu. I did my journalism. I always wanted to write and read. So this is something that may help. And I completed my certificate in Persian, a bit of French. So it never stops, basically.
Yeah, learning language is like a drug.
It's like an addiction. It's
Yeah,
like a
it's
drug.
yeah.
It's a drug. It's a
Uh,
drug for people who really can, and pain for people who cannot.
yes, agree. Next language that you want to learn, like next on the list that you want. No, okay, one is learning it casually. I'm asking
Hmm.
about the one that you want to
Hmm.
do till the B2 level or the native level. Next one, like if making a life, making money is not an option, if everything is
Okay.
going perfect, what would be that
Okay.
next language?
I would really like to do Russian and Arabic. Arabic, I did. I was always interested in this, like Urdu, Persian, and Arabic. So I did my Persian. I did my master's in Spanish. I translated. My thesis was a translation of a Persian book, excerpts from a Persian book to Spanish. So that was the first time uh, somebody has done in GRS. And Arabic and Russian, I would like to go deep
Perfect.
because they're very good languages. Like they're very, I would say, very structured, and it can encompass a lot. Like it's like half of the world. If you being interacting to half of the world, like the whole of the Middle East and whole of the Russia as well, the Central Asian states. That those are two things
Perfect.
which and uh, and yeah, maybe some or the other reason, maybe someday any other language pops up. I always wanted to get my hand over Catalan. It's a
Catalan.
lot
Catalan is something that I
of
also do. I learn it sometimes. There's this channel where I learn.
It's like you learning Hindi and Punjabi together.
Yeah, true, true. It's like learning Hindi and Punjabi. People who do not
So
know, Catalan
people,
is a regional language from the region of Catalonia,
and it's
Barcelona.
on also an official language from the state of Andorra.
Yeah, Andorra, yes. The country Andorra, which is sandwiched between Spain and France.
Very small country. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
very.
in the Pyrenees,
Yeah.
Los Pyreneos. So, like, and I always wanted to suggest the GRS department that the Hispanic department, especially, should have a course in Catalan as well,
I
because
agree,
that
agree.
gives you an edge.
Agree, but there's a
That
political
really,
part to it, so that's why a lot of people just stay away from
maybe, yeah,
Catalonia.
yeah. But I think officially it is not taught everywhere, anywhere in the world. But it should be. It should be. Yeah. So wanted to get my hand over Catalan and Portuguese, which we always think that being
A
learners of
Spanish
Spanish
speaker,
that
you should
we
definitely.
can get it easily. But no, I really, when I landed in Lisbon, I truly realized that it's not the same. Like
It's
the
no, the
Portuguese,
way they write is similar. The way they speak is very different because
very different.
I've done my B1 in Portuguese.
Okay,
From an institute, not from the department, because they teach Portuguese from Portugal. I wanted to learn it from the
Brazilian.
Brazilian Portuguese,
Yes,
so
the
I
two
speak
versions of
the
that.
Brazilian Portuguese. The way they speak in Brazil is very South American. The way they
Yes, that's how our Latin American Spanish is also,
yeah,
which is very different from the Castellano.
Castellano, yes, the Castellano is from Spanish from Spain.
Yes.
So yeah, the way they speak is very different, but the words, the way
Are
they
same.
write, are exactly 80
Yes,
percent.
yes.
80% same. One example would be
True.
uh, "estoy de acuerdo," which means I agree. "Estoy concordo." Eu
Yeah.
concordo, or
Eu
eu
concordo.
concordo, or a basic sentence, me llamo Lakshay, tengo 28 años. In Portuguese, it would be me nome é Lakshay,
More nasal. It's
uh,
more nasal. It's
tenho
more.
28
Yes.
años. And the syllables or the vowels which are divided in Spanish are just together in Portuguese. So
Together in
yeah,
Portuguese. Yes.
the CION words in Spanish become são in Portuguese.
So
Conversação, coração, all those
it's a good
words.
language, good part of culture. Good. I've been to Lisbon, so like it's a very lively city. So
Lisbon is beautiful. The reason I wanted to learn Portuguese was Brazil. I definitely want to go there. I have still not stepped on the American continent. Do you feel like going to
yeah,
South America,
e-
going to Cuba,
even
going to
I want to
Argentina?
go. Even I want to
Be-
go because that part of the world will remain unexplored until you try to. You'll
Definitely.
never think of. You'll never think of going to
Because there's
Peru.
the
You'll
language
never think
barrier.
of it.
Did it happen with you where, for me, Latin America did not exist till the time I knew Spanish? Before Spanish, there was nothing called as Argentina, Bolivia, Ecuador, um, or
True,
Colombia. It was just Brazil and Argentina
true,
because of football.
true,
That's it.
true.
And
Like
when I learned
maybe
Spanish,
yes,
this world opened for me.
that world open, and the particularly the history part. That's how you really came to know the continent. Okay, that's how it goes. That's how it went, and really it is much more diverse than the peninsula. I would say the culture. It's lot more in there because I used to read a lot about Che Guevara. I used to read a lot about Pablo Neruda.
Hmm.
Then Chile, watched a lot of movies and read about military dictatorship in the Latin American countries. Then it switched to political and reading. So it interested me, and that's how. And the history part of it is always
Yeah,
fascinating.
I think the history part of South America is way more interesting than Spain. At
It's way
least
more interesting.
way more interesting. True, true, true.
Yes.
The dictatorship, reading about Che Guevara. People who don't know Che Guevara, they wear a lot of caps and T-shirts, but they have no
Yeah,
idea who the guy is.
but yes, because until unless there's a very beautiful, I would say, two-volume movie that's called Che on Che Guevara. A lot of people don't know. It's starred by I'm forgetting the name of the actor. That is one of the very famous actors. He has played Che, and it's like from the start till end. So the Bolivian Diary and the Motorcycle Diaries, I would say. So I've like read in series and
Motorcycle
I've
Diaries
been,
was super popular in our department. I think it was everybody was watching it. If
are you
this
speaking about the book or the movie?
the movie books, Harshit, you're the only few people that I know wouldn't read the book in
I
Spanish
read
and
the
would,
book.
yeah, but generally the movie.
I read the book both in English and Spanish. I read
Yeah,
the book.
I can imagine, but generally people would prefer movies. So even
Mm,
I saw the movie. I'm not a big fan of reading. So,
yeah,
do you remember? I don't know when you were studying in GRS, we had this play, Don Juan Tenorio.
Don Tenorio, yes, I
Uh,
remember.
so we had that play. I did not read it. I
Mm.
went on YouTube, saw the whole movie. It was again in black and white, old movie.
I did the same for the ease and better ease of assimilation and understanding,
Yeah.
so that I don't get confused. But one of the plays, I would say one of the uh, um I would say genre that I really love while reading, and the Spanish literature opened up for me was magic realism.
Sorry.
I really loved magic realism.
Magic realism. Okay.
Yeah, this was something the Latin American people have mastered in it, especially
And
Gabo.
what's that? What's that? Tell me about it.
I would say a lot of the second year. In second, we have that the thin literature book. I would say there are a lot of stories. I would say I don't remember the authors now. Well, I just mostly Gabriel Garcia Marquez,
Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Yeah.
yeah, and Isabel Allende, and as far as I remember, who was that? I remember Juan Luis Borges, Alfred
Borges.
Borges,
Borges. Hmm.
Borges, and
Okay, Ruben Dario was from Spain. No, Ruben Dario
Ruben
was
Dario was
Spain.
Spain, and there were a lot more. I'm just forgetting the names.
Even
So
I don't remember all of them. I but still remember
they
Gabriel
really
Garcia.
in South American literature they really revered. I would say they appreciated the magic realism, which, if I would tell you, is absent in many of the literatures, Indian literatures. Totally absent. You speak of Punjabi, there is no magic realism. There's no genre. Like I love to. I also have started writing, which I want to do. Like I don't know how it goes, but like Urdu, it is present. It is present,
Hmm.
and one of my favorite authors is he's just specializes in dream writing. And he said that out of the like 35 stories he has just all written in all his life, he said I used to just dream, and whatever came into my dream, I just write right after just waking up. So magic realism was one thing that I still whenever I go to like Spain, or whenever I can get hold of, like I really recently, I think 3 4 months ago, I just ordered the book which had all the collected stories of Marquez. So really wanted to go through, and that was Spanish, so I like really had to get. It was really tough to get it, but it was good.
Now I want to know, did you also study or read Miguel Cervantes' famous uh, book? I forgot the name. I
Don
can
Quixote.
Don Quixote. Yes, Don Quixote. I remember in
Uh,
masters you had to
yes.
read one volume or half of.
One vol. I think you have to read some excerpts and analyze and what. I really wanted to go through once.
Hmm.
I have the prized possession of getting it from Spain, the original unabridged Spanish version,
Okay.
which I have
The
it.
old Spanish, the Vos
Uh,
Spanish.
yes, it is the unabridged version. Like it is not shortened. It is not. It is the whole total what Miguel Cervantes wrote. So never had the time to go through, or it just slip up that never have been able to fully read it in English as well. But I would really love to, because as you know the nature of the job. So now I think now you've told me I should get it in my this summers I should complete my Don Quixote.
Don
But
Quixote.
something I am personally also, it's very hard for me to push for me myself to push for very old literature. So like I am into modern writing,
Hmm.
modern literature. So if you say if I've been reading around 19th century, I would love to. but something of a very old century. I know it might be a very prized, I would say, the epitome of the Spanish literature, the magnum opus. But yes, I would still, it's very hard for me to get it. But yes, now you've told me, it's like, I'll give it a try.
Like while talking to you, if money was not a question, or making a life and taking a job was not a question, I would definitely would want to, just by talking to you, want to go back, read Quixote and Gabriel Garcia Marquez books. Like,
Sure, sure.
I want to do it again. I
I
think I missed out, but then you have to continue with your life and get a job, etc. But just by talking to you, it I'm getting goosebumps and I want to do it. I wish I could read them. I could go to Spain and, go to the old towns in Spain where you could find all books and feel the culture and the
Yeah, why
literature.
not? Like, just imagine you reading Quixote in a back garden of Madrid or Sevilla, and just like on a lazy afternoon, you don't have to do anything, just read Quixote, and maybe you find a chance encounter of somebody who is specialization, like who a normal, I would say, a middle class Spaniard, and he just talks you to about Quixote because he's
Hopefully,
been reading all his life. Yeah,
yeah, hopefully.
so that would be the perfect. I would say the omens to read Quixote.
This
But
just
here
gives
also,
gives me nostalgia about my 3 years in GRS, where it just thinking about it, about Don Juan Tenorio, El
yeah,
Burlador de Sevilla, everything. It just, good memories from those days, and then when I think about it,
I still like I do not give up. I still watch movies. I still try to read something or the other. Maybe not frequently, maybe, but whenever I have the time, like maybe fortnightly, a month, maybe two once in 2 months. The first thing is that you have to push yourself to be connected. So maybe in a week, when you read I would say, your newspaper, Times of India, Indian Express, or the Hindu every day. So maybe on a Friday you read El Mundo.
no, I do. I'm still connected. It's the I still.
That is one of the, yeah. That's how you do. That's one of the things to get
You know
connected. Like
what I did?
what
What I did? I followed them on Facebook, and then everything is in El Mundo and El País. It's in
I
Spanish.
I, I do it on Instagram. So it kicks you. Okay. Oh, okay. What's happening in Spain
I
and
do.
what's
I still
happening in.
watch it. I was watching Elite, but these are your new, your Casa de Papel, your Elite, and
Oh
your
yes,
football.
Casa de Papel had totally, like, people watch this in a dubbed version, but yes, I totally watched it in Spanish. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, the most hit series ever from Spain,
From
and like
Spain, yes, exactly. I felt,
that's
and then came Elite. I still watch them, but this is your new Spanish, or the modern filmmaking and
that's
series.
how a language will thrive. Maybe one or the other medium. Maybe whenever, until unless it gets popular, it will not thrive. So maybe if it is happening in this way, the more the better. Maybe
Like, I
some.
would, I would love to watch a show in Cervantes, Don Juan Tenorio, or a reenactation of some book from Miguel Cervantes. I would love to
Yeah,
do that.
because maybe the new generation who's coming to GRS just came by watching Casa de Papel.
Yeah,
One
definitely,
never knows.
definitely.
Yes.
Because when I was teaching Spanish to a bunch of kids, the reason that they were learning was Despacito. For me, it was football. I was the only one who had that stupid reason of
It
learning
can
a
be
language.
anything. Yeah, it can be anything. So like it starts from a pinpoint, like a pinprick. Okay, there exists, and really when you go, like, fly there and live up some few days in that land, you really, I would say, your imagination. I would not say imagination. Your imagery of a place breaks, and also your, I would say, it's an addition to your valuable addition to your life. These are imprints and vignettes which are necessary in life, other than the regular quotidian things of eating, sleeping, earning. These are something which are very necessary in life to live.
True, true, true. Now I want to
Maybe,
know. Yeah, sorry, sorry.
sorry, I just wanted to, like, say that we always see things on television, but never imagine that, like, will we be able to see ever in our lives? Like, how many of us knows the Eiffel Tower or the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt? But we'll die not watching them in
True,
life.
true.
And how
That's
many of us will try that at least once in life? What I have seen or heard about, just go there and come back. Maybe it costs a lot of money. It never matters. It's okay. But at least once you do step out of your zone, uh, and just add a valuable addition to your life. Like I've done that.
True, true,
So
true.
it's
And
good.
even like the cherry on the top would be okay, you're going to these places. Imagine you can speak that language and you can talk to the locals and they giving you a new perspective. Let's say Giza and you know Arabic, or
Sure.
you go to Sagrada Familia in Catalonia, and
Oh,
you're speaking Spanish and you can also speak in Catalan and talking to the Catalan people, the old ones,
you
and
don't
they,
have barriers then. You can step forward. You don't have to restrict your steps. You can step as many steps you can, and people welcome that, especially in Europe, and especially in any part of the world. People will welcome that.
definitely
They're accommodating. They're very accommodating.
if you can speak the language, it's so easy. It's so easy.
And it's so easy. Yes, that's how we came learning English, learning Hindi.
True, true.
Now we're not learning Hindi. We're forgetting Hindi.
Yeah,
We're forgetting Urdu.
true, true.
That's the state of Indian language. That puts me in despair. It's one of the things that I always also wanted to talk about. That we do not, I would say, respect our languages. We're losing them, and we're losing them very harshly.
True, true.
How many of us, I would say, people who are from the regional states still hold to their language, but especially people who are in native North India, Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi. Nobody speaks.
Yeah,
Nobody writes.
true,
Nobody
true.
wants to read.
True, true. I know, I know, I know. Me being a Punjabi, it took me so many years to realize that I should learn Punjabi.
How many books have you read in Punjabi? None, I would say.
None. Because reading is not even a question because.
Okay, not read, but you might have watched Punjabi movies. Okay, that's one part of the culture. But the literary part, if you say, if you ask me, it's in a very, I would say,
Bad
it's in
state.
shambles. Yes, it's in
True, agreed, agreed, agreed.
because uh, if you have heard of Rekhta, if you've heard of it, have you?
No, no.
No. Okay, so Rekhta is one. It's a project that started to save Urdu language. It started in Delhi by a connoisseur of a very passionate man about Urdu. And now Rekta is the biggest, I would say, Urdu promoting, learning, books, digitalizing. It's working Urdu. Like now people want to work for Rekta, professors, academicians. It holds Jashn Rekta every year for a week, celebrating just one language, Urdu, inviting people, meeting people, organizing events, shairis, ghazals, poetry, books, publications. People can collect just over for one love. That is the love for the Urdu language. Artists, actors, directors, lyricists, they all come and participate in that. And that is one thing I liked about that man, that he has been able to save, like revive the tradition of Urdu, respecting that, loving it. And now you have earlier when I used to like wanted to order books, like now you can easily order books on Amazon and Flipkart. That's the most easy part. But try going it for Urdu. Now you can order online Urdu books. You go for Punjabi, there's no site. There's no place you can go and find other than these few sprinklers in the Amazon or elsewhere. That okay, two or three famous authors you'll and in the authentic Punjabi in the publications. So like currently when I'm in Punjab, when my survey is, so there's a very nice bookshop of totally devoted to Punjabi, and I really love that man. I spoke to the owner of the house. He said we brought the books from Lahore in a truck after the partition, opened up it on a cart, took a place. So he said that's my grandfather used to do, sell books in Lahore, and whatever the books he could, like the place was set in fire. He whatever the books he had, he took it in a lorry. Some property he bought, started the bookshop, and now it's one of the biggest bookshops in Punjab. You can get any author in that, but there's no. He said I don't do it online. You have to go to that bookshop. So and literature, nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to. I would say take it further in our families, in our homes as well.
True, true, true.
Hindi is in a despair state.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody can write.
True, right,
Like
read is a challenge
we
for it.
feel ashamed. You feel ashamed
This
speaking
this
in
this
English.
is something that
This
I talk about a lot. That
this is coming
why
in.
ashamed of your own mother tongue?
This is coming in. We mock people who cannot speak fluent English,
Okay.
don't we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It has come into our nature. But that guy uh, might not have had the exposure, but still he can express himself in one language that is native to our country. Respect him. Respect her.
Yeah, agree, agree. Even I don't understand this whole idea of mocking people who cannot speak English. Why? But this is not a mother tongue. Let's. Uh,
This is not a mother tongue. This is the tongue of our stomachs. We thrive.
yeah,
We earn money.
yeah.
But
We just have to understand that English is not a measurement of intelligence or whatever.
yes,
It is just a medium to make money to get our ideas out there to the world.
Shyamal, I would say we must not forget. And people who know are who have an habit of exploring. So the thing is, these languages have always been thriving since centuries. They cannot die down
Hmm.
in just 50 years. But until unless we let them do,
Hmm.
we
Like,
we were always ruled by the foreigners. I would say the Turkmens came, the Mughals came. Okay, but still Hindi is a part of us. So Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, or whatever we say, we need to do a lot in one of the major things. I would say a lot of disinterest is in the teaching and I would say the academic part of it. How many people are doing MA in Urdu, MA in Punjabi, MA in Hindi? Not many.
before
No,
GRS, I had no idea there was something like that. Because
no
once
more
you go to
career
GRS,
opportunities.
and then you,
People are looked down.
hmm.
The very restricted opportunity of a career.
Oh,
So,
definitely, like your career path would be narrowed down because of that.
but that did not used to be in the early 70s, 80s, and 90s. If you go through your old, I would say, people used to rever. People used to uh, feel good about it. But it's okay. It's harsh reality.
Yeah, true. Now, Harshit, what any message for people who want to learn languages or who are interested in learning languages and watching the podcast? I have a
Okay.
bunch of videos talking about it. I want your take on it. Any message for those people?
My message is that I would say learn a language. Don't forget yours. Learn a language which you will never face or never interact. That is, you have to push yourself to go to that country. So maybe a language from a very distant country. So these are three things you can at least do. Save your language. That is, whatever you speak. You might be speaking Mathili, you might be speaking Santali, if any, Bodo. There are almost 800 languages and dialects that are identified in India. Save yours, do something for it, and be flexible because the language makes you flexible, accommodating. Don't be harsh on yourself and take it for the fun part of it. And if you're not able to do it, it's okay. Maybe that language is not cup of tea. Maybe some other language which you may pick up very early. There are people who could not do Russian, Italian, Spanish, but they picked up Chinese. So they picked up Japanese. Or there are vice versa people who could not do Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or German, but they picked up Italian, Spanish, French. So maybe there's a I would say a connect of a language to you. It's like an animal. It's like a your connect to the animal and animals connect to you. It's like a language connect to you as well.
True.
Maybe the language doesn't connect to you.
Agreed, agreed.
Keep reading, keep writing, be lively, and I would say just live your life. Do get out of the cocoon, get out of the set mentalities, fixed mentalities of doing things. Do what you love to do.
Amazing,
Live.
amazing. So before we end, Harshit, do you have any questions for me?
Questions. So I would say
Or anything you
not.
want to talk about?
So how's your take on? I would say uh, people. who are in the language world. We are a group of people
Yeah.
who have not interacted with each other, but maybe seldom we do. But there's common group. What's your take? Like, how? What's you've been on a channel. So how many people daily like you interact that are want to do something for the language, but I think have not been able to find some measures or what's the state of language
So
learning in India?
uh, I'll take. I'll answer the first part where my take on languages or people who want to learn languages would be the first thing that I notice is accessibility. Like
Accessibility, yes.
if people want to learn, uh, they have to go to certain universities. We have only a few universities that are offering courses in languages, and majorly most of them are concentrated in Delhi or big cities. People from India who are from the from tier 2 or tier 3, it is difficult for them to learn a language. And then let's say if they can't go to university, the second problem that they would face would be the money part. Like if they really want to learn a language, go to Cervantes, your Max Muller's, your Allianz, they don't have the money for it. So for the first problem that I see is accessibility. And then if they find a place, they don't have the means to go to these universities. Universities or institutes, I wish there was a cheap, easy way to learn languages. I wish people, you could learn whatever language in every part of India, but for that you need people who
Who
want to
teach,
teach
who
language.
want to teach, yes.
Yeah, who want to teach in tier 2 or tier 3 cities. I'm like, there are also tier 1 cities where you don't have people teaching languages or good institutes. So the first problem that I see is that people want to learn, but they don't have the resources or the money uh, to learn or to teach. And the second thing the problem that I see, or something that I don't like personally, is people do the graduation or maybe they do their B2 from, take any language, they get a job and done. Learning part is done. There's a cap
Done.
seal on it. They don't want to learn anything, because if you know Spanish, there are so many nuances to it where once you, what we are taught versus what is spoken in the street
What
in
is
Spain
spoken?
is very different. It's very different. One example would be Theo. Theo, if you translate, would come as uncle.
The uncle.
But in Spain they call Theo 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 to everybody as a friend. Or in Hindi we say yaar, in Punjabi we say kake. So that is
Hmm.
Theo for them. So these nuances or these little things, people who learn just to get a job or to make money, they don't really get into that hemisphere of learning the nuances of a language. I'm pretty sure this is with Spanish and Portuguese, but with French and other languages, it is the same. That people, they get a job or graduation is done and the learning part stops. There's something I wish everybody had the same enthusiasm, maybe that you have, or maybe that I have, that where okay, I'm done with my graduation, the 3-year course is over, but still there's a lot to learn in language, in
At
literature.
least you're doing it. That at least you're in continuity.
Yeah.
That's the wheels should keep moving.
Yeah.
That is the part.
So I wish this thing was better, and people who want to learn, it's very simple. It's simple. You only like
It's
things
simple.
that you enjoy. If you're
Sure.
enjoying X language, you only love things, or if you're enjoying. So if you like X language, learn it. People want to, these days, because you want to get a job, they want to learn a language that will make them the most money. This is the most common question that I get on my Instagram or YouTube. Tell me the language that will make me the most money. Scope किसमें सबसे ज़्यादा? This word
Scope
scope.
उसमें ज़्यादा है where you once you have mastered the language, be
Yeah,
it Chinese or be
true,
it a
true.
simple Italian.
Easy.
If you
The
haven't
answer.
mastered that language, there's no scope of earning money.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So my advice would be, if I knew since day one that it's Spanish for me, and then other languages would come. So find the language
And
that
it
you love.
comes. It naturally comes when you go for a language. You start learning another language as well, and that because you know the tricks.
Yes, you know
You
the
start
tricks. You
getting
know
the tricks.
how to learn languages now. You
You know
know.
how to learn a language.
So my advice would be, please learn a language that you love. Don't find the one that will make you more money, because I can definitely guarantee you. I have friends who are studying in Cervantes right now. They quit after the first level. Why? Because they think a language, it's so easy. I'll just translate, literally done. I'll get a job. Go to Spain. Oh yeah, it's not like that. If you love
Yes,
it, you'll learn it.
you love it, you learn it. Yeah, because that happened with me with Persian. So like my ustad always used to say कि शुरू शुरू में तो बहुत अच्छी लगेगी, कहते देखते तुम्हें कितना प्यार है इससे. So I really like I used to take my time out of it, and he used to give me very tough. It was at a very personal level. Like I used to just meet him. He used to give me a book, read it. I'll give you a question paper, solve it. I'll give you a translation, solve it. And I guess apart from the Spanish, German, I used to do it in Persian. So it was something I really loved it, and he taught me in the very hardest way. He said, "Okay, you're still going on. Okay, let me give you the toughest one." So he used to give me the toughest translations, toughest books to read. So, what have you read? Like he used to just call me on weekends and say like, yeah, what did you understand about? And then I realized that this is was he was testing my love for the language. That I really you really love this language. I've never seen somebody learning this language at this very passion, and it came handy. It came handy then. I still can read in Persian. Can like I had a lot of I would say friends who were Afghanis, so I used to converse with them when I was there. So it came handy.
That's lovely. I hope whatever conversation that we had will help people to know the right way to learn languages and will motivate them to learn the right language for them.
Learn the right language.
Yeah.
Learn the right thing.
Thank you, Ashit, for coming on my
Thanks, Lakshya.
podcast. It was lovely
Thanks for
talking to you.
inviting me in. Maybe some other day we can take this talk further, but due to the restrictions of time and paucity,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Thank you
thanks. It
so
was
much.
lovely,
Same, yeah. Same, yeah.
refreshing conversation with you. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
So guys, if you're enjoying the videos, please consider subscribing to the channel.